Hello, I'm Brett Cooper here with Richard Makerson. Today we're going to talk about the benefits of SSO for enterprise mobility devices. Richard, I know we talked about a couple key items, but the first one is really, I guess we want to start out with talking a little bit about what is SSO before we hop into the benefits. So in your, I guess, short parlance, what is SSO for devices, enterprise devices or mobile devices?
Yep, it's a authentication scheme or mechanism where you can sign in once, but have access to multiple applications or systems or third-party systems without having to log in or share your credentials.
Got it. I guess the key there is not sharing credentials. So your password is not being synchronized across different end systems. Those end systems are trusting a single point of communication. What's the word used for that is federation. Is that the correct terminology there?
Yep. You could federate against different systems. You also hear folks use the word tokens. So passing tokens or granting access via tokens.
Got it. In the consumer space, I think Google and Facebook are probably two of the bigger authentication sources you can federate. So when you see a page that says use your Google authentication, it's actually not synchronizing your password. It's going back to Google and saying, are you this person? In the enterprise space, what are the big players there that you typically see?
Yeah, Okta and Azure AD are probably the first two that come to mind. You have others like SailPoint. We still get the opportunity to blend some of the legacy LDAP and level folks up, but there's a lot of providers coming out in the market supporting different types of single sign-on, whether it's OIDC using OpenID Connect or SAML or some other pattern.
Got it. All right. Now to hop into the benefits. So the first benefit is improving employee efficiency. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Who wants to remember 10 different usernames and passwords and what system they go to and what the timeout is? I'd liken it to like the cell phone. Like, who remembers telephone numbers anymore? I only remember the telephone numbers I remembered before I had a cell phone. So only having to keep track of one identity, but then getting access into these systems on an as needed basis is just going to reduce friction and be a huge increase in efficiency.
Got it. I think just to quantify that a bit, I know we had one customer that I think they had 4 or 5 apps. We were in an analysis for them. I think they were saving over $850 a year on just those apps for their employees, not having to sign in over and over throughout their shifts. So it can add up very quick. I've seen even a lot higher than that, especially when customers have more apps that require authentication.
Mm-hmm. It's a huge benefit for us and a huge source of ROI of, if you do, choose to use the Blue Fletch tools that, within the first 30, 60 days, if you have a similar profile, even a bigger profile, that you're going to get a return on your investment.
Got it. Second area was improving employee satisfaction, which I think is sort of parlays on the last point you made. But tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, you want your employees to be happy. One of the things that we always impress upon ourselves and want our customers to feel is that when people come to work, we want them to love the tools that they use, and if they're having to remember multiple passwords and start to feel password fatigue, especially when you have to rotate different passwords, like they might last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, depending on the security posture. That stinks. And so, any way you can reduce friction and make people, you support them as they're doing their jobs. I think they're just going to be, happier at the end of the day. It's not going to be like going to Disneyland or your favorite restaurant, but you don't want to come to work and have to work around problems. That's just not fun for anyone.
Yeah, and speaking of problems, the next reason number 3 for SSO improving is around reducing help desk calls. Mm-hmm. I think the stat, I think it's a Gartner stat, is 50% of help desk calls, or more than 50%, are related to passwords in most enterprises.
Yep.
What is, I guess, maybe dive a level deeper on that. Tell me about password costs and just in general what that adds up to.
It gets very expensive very quick. If I'm only working 6, call it an 8-hour shift, and I'm on the phone with help desk, those calls aren't quick. I got to call help desk. I got to authenticate myself via phone. Then I have to talk through, resetting my password. Then I need to try the password to see if it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you got to wait for it to populate or migrate through different servers or backends. And so, it sucks because it takes people off the floor. It takes people away from their jobs. And if you're not on the floor, if you're not able to do your job, that is opportunity loss. And, it's costing you, and that you're paying for all of this confusion and work and extra work that somebody has to do, but you're also losing out on a potential opportunity, especially if that worker engages with a customer because they could be helping a customer through their shopping journey, but they're resetting their password instead.
Got it. All right. So it's two-sided, not just what you're paying the help desk guys, but also your employee productivity, the fact that you're losing potential benefits from them actually doing their jobs or helping customers out. All right. The last area, number 4, is improving security. So, I guess entering your password less can improve security. Tell me a bit more about that.
Well, if I have to keep track of multiple passwords, what are we going to do? We're going to write it down.
You can talk about the sticky note on your monitor with the 12 passwords you have.
Yep, it's going to be in a Word document or Note or Evernote. Now you're syncing a clear text password across multiple devices, and so that's not secure. It's not safe. It's a workaround that that most password tools, like when you think of LastPass or other password managers, seek to fulfill. Two-factor or conditional auth sometimes helps. Usually that's something that something that you have, whether that's a RSA token or a FIDO key. Those help. But then also having modern tooling. So I know with our Blue Fledge launcher and our authentication tools, we're able to out of the box integrate with most of the major identity providers, but then also, how can we stitch together or have an experience that's also secure in these enterprise environments. And it allows us to do some cool things once we know who's doing what, when, and where, able to go deeper into an organization and offer a lot of benefits and efficiencies that they wouldn't otherwise get.
Yeah, so you get that conditional rules like location, time of day, things like that. You can actually start building your login against. And I think that to distill that down a bit more, with two-factor authentication, it's a password and something else, or biometrics and a PIN. And I think that if you have to log in every single time and do that, it adds up a ton. But if it's just once a day, it makes it easier to have that stronger authentication process at the one time a day. So I'd say, improved security is definitely a big point there. So in summary, the 4 areas, the benefits of SSO for mobile devices or even any computers in the enterprise are going to be saving money, improving employee happiness, reducing your help desk calls, and then improving your overall security posture. Richard, thank you for going through this with me today. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks.